for it, find it, make it your own. It's the Get Thrifty Podcast.
Hey Thrifties, welcome back to the Get Thrifty podcast brought to you by ARC Thrift Stores. ARC Thrift Stores is a nonprofit thrift store chain, and I am your host, Maggie Civic, and we are all about sharing everything that has to do with shopping secondhand. So if you're part of our unique thrift culture, please contact us. We would love to promote your business and your social channels and share your stories and advice with our listeners. As always, you can find ARC on Instagram and YouTube at ARC Thrift. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I love an accent on this show. Please welcome Lauren. Lauren first caught the thrifting bug in college, a Michigan native. I know, I get so jazzed about Michigan. She turned a personal passion into a thriving small business. My Sister's Closet, an online shop and brick and mortar in her hometown of Middleville, Michigan, named for the hand-me-downs and closet swaps she shared growing up with two sisters. Lauren sources everything herself, hunting down upscale secondhand clothing along with art and home decor from thrift shops and donations, then giving each piece a second life through weekly Wednesday drops. She documents the entire process for a YouTube audience of more than 60,000 subscribers, sharing her love of thrifting, decorating on a budget, and simple living along the way. What started as a sisterly hand-me-downs has become a carefully curated shop with a devoted following. Built on Lauren's eye for quality and her knack for spotting pieces worth saving, we are so excited. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. That was so fun.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. Like I said, we love Michigan. We're like learning more and more about these states with these beautiful lakes. So I will ask you about that at some point.
Yeah.
But let's start with your social handles so people can follow along as they listen today.
Yeah. First, I'm most active over on my YouTube channel. So that is Lauren Mans. I post there weekly. And then otherwise, a great place to follow along is my store's Instagram, which is MSC Thrift, and our website.
Easy peasy. And you can just Google you and find the whole thing, which is amazing.
Yep.
And you have built this following over time, but you're also a mama and you live in Michigan. And kind of give us the backstory. How did all of this happen?
Yeah. So me being here in Middleville, Michigan, I was born and raised. I've been here and my grandparents and so on. We all are here, been here
Your
forever.
grandma is so cute, by the way.
Oh, yes. Both of them are the cutest ever. I love them so much. So yeah, we all are here. It's really fun. We spend a lot of time together. And so because I love this town so much, that's why I wanted to start my business here, which has been going for 8 years now.
Oh, wow.
But should we go back before that?
Oh, yes. I would love it,
Okay.
especially if you have a fun like lore story of discovering secondhand.
Yeah, so I'll go back to high school because when I was in high school, I discovered my love for film. And so a friend asked me to film her wedding, and I was like, oh, sure. So I did. And from there on, I was hooked. So I was probably a junior in high school, and then we had a digital media class. And I just woke up every day, couldn't wait to go to that class. Honestly, it was such a blast. And we would just film different stories that we would make up. And I really loved documentary style and real storytelling. And so that led me to go to college right down the road, right in Grand Rapids, for film production specifically. And so while we were in college doing films, they deemed me the production designer. And so my job would be to style the film on a very, very tight budget. And so that's where I discovered the thrift stores.
Oh, I love this.
And I would say when I was younger, I always loved a good deal. You know, going school shopping, I would always look at the sale rack, and a good deal was always what I loved. But it wasn't until college that I really got an understanding of what thrift stores were and how much good stuff there is at them.
So many deals. And how would you describe your personal style?
I would say my personal style, if I had to pick a word, it would be cohesive. I just love matching head to toe. I always have. I want my shoes, my earrings, everything to coordinate. But otherwise, it's pretty simple, I would say. Yeah, I don't tend to be too vintage or too on trend. It's kind of just
what you love.
A simple mom comfortable style, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And even your home though has really great style. And I love when you bring something home and then show us how you're going to style it, like your plate wall. Talk about that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say in my home, I really have had to learn that over the years. Like if you go back on my personal Instagram, which I'm not super active on there, but I show a little bit of what my home looked like when I first moved in, just very empty. And I've learned that decorating for me is kind of a form of therapy. Like I just did it the other day. I restyled an entire shelf and I was like, oh, I feel so much better. I just feel fresh and, my clears my head. And so I've done that a lot over the years. And I think that's where I've learned my style, which now I would say tends to lean pretty vintage. I just find so much character and love in a piece that has been around for so long.
Sure.
So I would say my home is a little bit modern vintage as of now.
And the beauty is you can change it at all times. I mean, I am fascinated by the amount of time you're spending in thrift stores. So how did we get to my sister's closet? And then I want to
Yeah.
ask about specifically your favorite haunts in Michigan, because you really do a great job of like showcasing how Mel Trotters, like, what is that? I'm obsessed. So we'll come
Yeah.
back to that. But how did we get to
Yeah.
my sister's closet?
Okay. So went to school for film, and then I didn't as much love the film I was doing in school because it was more like Hollywood style, write a script, tell a story. And
Mhm.
I liked more of just like documentary style, which is basically what I'm doing now, which is sharing real life stuff. So after school, I was like, what do I want to do? And dabbled in film a little bit, but then I was like, I think I want to go work at a upscale thrift store, so a consignment store.
Cheap
I was
kind
like,
of
I
thing.
think
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I think that would just be really fun and capture a lot of things I love. So I applied for one in Grand Rapids and went into the interview. And I didn't, without even realizing it, in the interview, I said to them, like, I would like to open my own store one day, without even really realizing it. So they didn't hire me, probably because they knew, eventually I wanted to go do my own thing. But it was pretty much that day I was driving home and just kind of had this realization of, why don't you just start your own store?
Yeah.
So that day I made the Instagram account, which has been around for probably 9 years now, which is MSC Thrift. And I started thrifting and then selling online through Instagram. And then I think within a couple weeks, I had a family friend reach out to me who had a building and
Oh,
was like,
wow.
hey, this building's available if you'd want to use it. And so I wasn't even planning on a brick and mortar anytime soon, but it came available that fast. And then I just started moving in. And then within months, I really what was fun is on our Instagram, I shared a lot of the behind the scene
Mhm.
process.
The
So I took
construction, even. Yeah.
yeah, so from the bare empty building to, where we are now, I just took people along the journey. And that's, I think, what created excitement to come on our opening day,
Mhm.
which was in 2018. And so, yeah, we just had our 8-year anniversary. And so that's kind of the story of how the shop got started. It really, honestly, just happened quick and I just went for it.
Were you live selling on Instagram, or was it just like piece by piece? How were you doing the Instagram sales?
I was just posting it in the Instagram feed, an item, and then you could comment on it and sell it. That was like right when people were just starting to
Yeah,
do
it was
that.
brand new. It was before COVID
Mhm.
when it really exploded.
Exactly.
What is your COVID story? What did you guys do? Did the shop have to close down? How did you handle COVID?
That's a good question. I think I'm so thankful for our building and my start of having low rent because it made it very doable for me to be able to make it to where I am today. But I think the rent overhead was not bad at all, and I actually really enjoyed the time off. I think we took a handful of weeks off where it was like we're just closed, and I kind of loved that because I've never slowed down.
Yeah, a little vacation.
I was able to be at home and just, really take a step back and be excited to get back into it. So before COVID, I used to go out and thrift all of our inventory. So
Mhm.
we would be open Wednesday through Saturday, and Monday, Tuesday, I would go out and source. But I just wasn't keeping up enough, having enough turnover, having enough new stuff in the store. And so then after COVID happened, I was able to sit down on my computer and start planning to buy from people.
Mhm. The
So ever since
consignment piece. Yeah.
yeah, so ever since then, people bring clothes into us, and instead of doing consignment where we wait until the item sells, we purchase it outright from them. So we've been doing that for however many years now, 6 years, and we get in more clothes than we can even take, which is the best problem ever to have. It's been amazing since we switched to that.
And I do love how you do content on how to properly do it. Bring it in a
Mhm.
basket. This is how
Mhm.
it works. You really explain to people how it works. So share with our listeners what the process looks like if you come in with your basket filled with
Mhm.
items. How do you determine what stays and what doesn't?
Yeah. So one thing we do is we take all seasons, which I think is so nice because I know I just realized that when I go through my closet and I'm getting rid of stuff, I'm getting rid of tank tops, I'm getting rid of sweaters. It's just kind of, all seasons. So if you just bring it in a basket, the only reason we say that is it's just so much faster for us to go through it when it's in your basket and it makes you come back for it. If you leave your laundry basket, you're going to come back for that laundry
Yeah,
basket.
yeah.
But yeah, we're really looking for quality. A lot of times we'll find, whether it's stains or just the material, we look for quality items. And then we're kind of in the middle of the road as far as we're not super fancy, but then we're not taking a bunch of t-shirts, if that makes sense. We're kind of comfy casual, which is what I say my style tends to be. And it seems to be what people around here are looking for too. But yeah, we always tell people if you're questioning what we'll take, just bring it in. We'll take a look at it and just see if we think it's something that will sell. Usually it's what's been in stores the last year, but we're not opposed to vintage. We love vintage too. So
Have you gotten anything that you're just like, oh my God, this is so wild, like some wild fur coat or anything crazy from anyone where you're stunned?
that's a good question. I think usually in our store group text, it's usually if something's funny and it's usually a funny graphic t-shirt or like just we'll send funny things like that, but nothing too out of the wild, I would say.
That's good. And I bet
Yeah.
you people are like, embarrassed. Like they bring you, that's the one thing because we have 40 thrift stores. And I'm like, people just shove it into a garbage bag and put it on our back door sometimes. You never know
Yes.
what you're going to get, the weird and the wonderful. But when you're standing in front of a lovely woman that's looking through your items, I'm sure they're like, I'm going to take this up a notch and not do anything too wild and crazy. Do you take only clothing for resale or do you do the brick-a-brac items as well?
We do only clothing, and I think
Sure.
it's because shoes and accessories just aren't really my thing, and so I just keep it simple with clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you focus on the main thing, sometimes that can be a better situation. So I do
Mhm.
have to know, is the group chat named anything funny?
It's not, but I better get on that.
You need to give it a fun name. And
I
then I'm
should.
dying to know like about your sisters. So it's called My
Mhm.
Sister's Closet. So how involved are they? What's the story there?
Yeah, so I have an older brother and then I have two younger sisters, and so my sisters and I, my brother would be in the downstairs room. My sisters and I, there were two rooms upstairs. We all slept in one and turned our other room into
Cute.
a full life-size closet.
That's brilliant.
I wish I had photos of that, but that was back before we took photos of everything.
Yeah.
But I've got it up here. My sisters and I remember it. So yeah, it was just, we would just share everything. You're getting ready for school, you're just grabbing things from whoever. And of course, we'd get frustrated when somebody took our favorite item. But for the most part, we were pretty open to sharing everything. And I would come home from college and grab their stuff. And so my sister Grayson, who is the next youngest, she joked around, someday you've got to have a store called My Sister's Closet, and
Oh, I
it's
love
stuck.
that.
Yeah.
It's stuck. And you still give her credit to this day. That's pretty
Oh
beautiful.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, and there are other My Sister's Closets around the United States. So we're My Sister's Closet Thrift. So
Thrift.
we are our own thing, even though there are others. So sometimes we get that question.
Easy enough to find though, especially
Yeah.
if you're in Michigan, super easy. So I
Mhm.
definitely want to hear about sourcing. I think one of the things I love about your YouTube channel is that you bring us along on the journey,
Mhm.
literally the cart's perspective, which I think is always fun.
Mhm.
Um, Talk about the building of the YouTube channel and, where you source in Michigan. Give us all the background because I do feel like I'm in the car with you sometimes, it's kind of
Mhm.
cool.
That's fun. Yeah. So very much like the store where the idea of it was so buried back in my head. I didn't really think it was going to happen until it just did really fast. Very similar with YouTube. So I got to the point that I got to the point with my store that other people were running it for the most part. I'm very in and out, especially once I started having kids and I wanted to be home with them more. But then it's still that love of film was always there as it was since high school. And so again, way in the back of my head, I had the idea to someday have a YouTube channel and honestly didn't really know what it was going to be besides, I didn't know if I'd show the behind the scenes of my store or what really. But then I was watching a channel, DIY Wife. Probably several people are familiar with them. They're so fun. So they work on their house and renovate it and all of that. But Dean, who's on that channel, he was talking about how he was starting a course that you could take to learn how to do a channel, to
Hmm.
do your own channel. And I was
Yeah.
like, if I'm going to do it, I don't have a lot of time to mess around. Like I've got kids, I've got a business. I don't have time to really figure it out on my own and not have it really work out. And so I was like, I might as well learn from someone who can teach me. And so I learned from him about, starting and having a niche versus just your consistency and just kind of what a normal week looks like. And so I very quickly learned my niche was taking people along thrifting with me. And I'm so thankful people like to watch because I absolutely love it. And I love that other people like to watch too.
Yeah, it really is fun content. And I got stuck on the one with your new baby bunny and grandma. So
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Do you bring them along with you?
I love to have company. Yes. And I would say I'm probably 50-50. Somebody's with me or I'm by myself, but I get way more excited to go when I have company.
Do you like, I love it that sometimes you'll show your haul and you'll put it on. You're like, oh, this is going to my store. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like your death pile gets automatically sold, which is pretty amazing.
Totally. I think that's unique to what I do with thrifting versus, not having my house get too cluttered because I have a place for it to go. And something about me is I love to thrift. I'm also not very sentimental or attached to things. So that's
Oh,
some things I love will never get rid of, but yeah, it's funny. I'm not someone to like keep things having dust on them in a
that
closet.
surprises me.
I
Wow.
know. Yeah, I love for them to go to a better home. So whether that's a friend's house, if I'm going over there and helping them style, I'm like, I love this space, but I love it for you and your home.
Mhm.
And same with family. So that's important to me as well. That something it has a home, I guess.
Yeah. And I love that you have these accent walls. I'm looking behind you right now and I'm like, oh, I need to do, I've got a big wall right now that I'm trying to find something really great at the thrift store for, but maybe I'll just paint it or wallpaper. How do you feel
Yeah.
about wallpaper?
Oh, 10 out of 10. You've got to do wallpaper. Yes.
I
It
love
can
it.
get pricey though. So I've been seeing people on Instagram, they'll get a little stencil and you can stencil like a little flower or something, or you can paint yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you might think you couldn't, but if you take the time, you probably could give a little detail to your wall.
Yeah. And sometimes you see these paintings and these abstracts, especially, are just like, this just looks like a mess of paint. Why don't I just buy a big canvas and try it myself? So who
Totally.
knows? And then if it
Yeah.
doesn't work, I end up donating it to one of my stores anyways.
There you go.
One of the other things I really liked about your content was the organization of your kids' closets. How many kids you
Oh,
have?
yeah.
Walk us
Hmm.
through that. I think that is so, again, a little bit niche, but
Hmm.
people like once your kids' closets are organized, your mind is clear. Like
Oh,
it's
my
a
word.
great
Yes.
therapy.
You're so right. Yeah. I am love to be organized. That's important to me. I like very similar to rearranging a shelf and decorating. I also find therapy from organizing things. So I have three girls, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 7-month-old,
And you're
which
running two businesses. Yikes.
yeah, no, it's so fun. And we can get to this later, but I couldn't do it without the help of my family and husband. They are a huge part of everything I do. But yeah, specifically when it comes to organizing their stuff, first of all, I love that I can do hand-me-downs. So I have actually in this closet right here, in the room that I'm in, I keep out of season clothing and then clothing like eventually my 7-month-old will wear. So all the
All
hand-me-downs, we
girls,
keep
so
them.
that helps things. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I were to give advice, I would say, first of all, you probably don't need as much as you think for kids. I would also say, please thrift your kids' clothes because they're always getting them dirty. And when you pay a couple dollars, it doesn't matter when they get them dirty. It
Yeah.
doesn't hurt as much. So, and then I would also say, have a place where you can keep totes and label them because that's what I'm doing is I'm constantly going through stuff that doesn't fit anymore and then deciding if I want to pass it along or hold on to it. And so, yeah, I guess if you watch the channel, I've talked a little bit about how I organize their stuff, but you got to stay organized when you got kids or else things end up everywhere and there's different sizes that don't fit in their closet. So I just try to constantly go through it to make sure we're keeping things tight.
And
So,
I loved how you had like even their shoes, like these are 6, 7, these are 7, 8. That is so brilliant. It's so much quicker when you're trying to get them dressed so they outgrow. And then you're like, okay, this box is done, get it out.
yeah.
Oh, and three girls. You're doing the same way your parents did.
Yes.
Tell
Hmm.
us about the family and how they're connected and all the help they give you for doing this. Cause I think it really is fun. We've seen your husband, we've seen your kiddos, we've seen grandma. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I've showed off quite a bit of my family in my videos, but probably what you guys would have see in my videos is maybe 20% of my family who's around and really helps.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've got both sets of grandparents who are so helpful. They've been supportive from the early days of the shop, whether it was dropping me off lunch or even babysitting my
Mm.
girls here and there. They're just very willing to help. And then my dad and grandpa specifically helped with all of our fixtures in the store. So whenever I want to
All
rearrange
order.
something
Yeah.
or I don't know, I always have ideas of changing things up. They're the first people I call. They'll help me build clothing racks or move things around. And then my mom has actually been our longest employee at the shop. So she started with us the first day we ever opened. So she's been a main employee for 8 years. And currently now, two of my cousins also are my employees. So
God, that's amazing.
yeah, yep. So as they get old enough, they come on over and start working for me. And it's just so fun to have everyone involved. My sisters, they don't work at the store. Well, one of my sister did for a little bit, but they watch my girls a lot. So if I ever need to run there temporarily, or if I have a sale, a big day like we just did recently, where I'm need to be there all day, they'll take my girls, and that's the biggest way that they help.
So fun. And they're all for this YouTube channel, being on air and all of that.
Mhm.
You post once a week on your YouTube. Can you point to that video that really took off for you that made you go, oh my gosh, because this has to be a separate revenue stream for you as well on YouTube,
Mhm.
which is amazing.
Yeah, one of my biggest videos that felt unexpected was one where my husband and I did a little getaway trip to Grand Rapids, so right down the road for me, 30 minutes. And we were like, we're just gonna thrift home decor
Mm,
all weekend long. So there's a part one and a part two. That for me was like, because I started off by thrifting clothes, and that was how my channel started. And I think that's really where I started to realize that not only did the viewers love when I thrifted home decor, but that was my favorite by far too. So that's kind of where things started to click as far as like what I've been doing now, which is a lot of home decor.
yeah,
But one of my other, if I had to tell somebody to go watch one of my videos, that's my absolute favorite. It's the one where I say I, but it was mostly my family. I was very pregnant, but we made over my parents' backyard pool area and surprised them while they were gone on a trip.
that's on my watch list. Shoot, I missed
Yeah,
it. Tell us about that.
no, it's my favorite. It just for so many reasons because you're going to see a lot of my family throughout it because they helped a lot, but also I it was our pool area we spend all summer at. Like I'm sure I'll be going there after this. But my dad and my mom and dad built the pool when I was really little, so it's been around for probably 25 years. And my dad started building this pool house and it just has never gotten around to finishing it because of just being so busy with all of us kids. And now there's 7 grandkids, and he's just constantly helping all of us because we all live within a mile of each other. So he's at all our houses. And so the craziest part in the video you'll see is that right before they left on their trip is where I got the idea to do this makeover. So it all happened really fast. And I'll leave a little suspense, but basically, my husband and I specifically tackled working on the pool house and doing something we have never done before. We're not DIYers. We're not, well, I would say we're not handy, but now we are, my husband has come so far. He's learned so much. And yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out.
Oh,
So it
what a
was awesome.
fun gift. What
Yeah.
was the reaction? Were they just absolutely floored?
Yeah, you'll see the reaction in the video, but definitely shocked because they would have had no idea what we were up to while they were gone.
And it's living that close to your family has to have so many perks. Like your summers, your girls get to hang out with their cousins. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
what a fun time. Tell us
Yeah.
about Michigan and your lakes. Are you guys near a lake?
Yeah, there's lots of lakes around us, and then we're probably an hour from Lake Michigan, but that's all I know because we grew up here. I grew up, my grandparents were on a lake. grew up with the pool, and so water is just all we know. That's how we get through summer.
Yeah.
But if you are anywhere near a lake, or if you can ever come visit Lake Michigan, it's so worth it. I just spent a week with my family and my husband's family on along Lake Michigan, and it was just the most refreshing thing I could have asked for, just to look out. I mean, similar to the ocean, you look out and you see nothing but
That's the
water.
thing. It's like an ocean, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm blown away with that. It's so foreign to me. And people are always like, Maggie, what is your deal with the Midwest? And I'm like, because I grew up in Southern California, but
Yeah.
it's always cold, lots of waves, you know, but a lake is like, just sounds amazing. And there are actually waves in these lakes too. They're so
Yep. Yes.
amazing. I have seen Lake Erie and I was like, this isn't a lake, this is an ocean. It was so disorienting and
Mhm.
gorgeous. And besides rough winters, I mean, who cares? Stay inside, a little cold, but it's kind of
Exactly.
Christmassy.
Yeah, organize and clean your house. It's
There you
okay.
go.
Go to a friend's house.
What does Christmas look like at your stores?
Ooh, yeah, we love just resetting the shop. Whenever there's
Yeah.
sweaters everywhere, I'm sure you can understand this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just the coziest ever.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's such a fun time where people come and get gifts and they'll pick things out for people and, of course, get a gift card. But I love decorating the shop for Christmas and just having sweaters from the front of the shop to the back of the shop,
Oh,
because that's just
cozy.
the most fun thing to shop for. Yeah.
Absolutely. Someone is screaming at their radio right now, going, Maggie, why haven't you asked her about sourcing? Because that's like the
Mm.
number one thing. People listen to this podcast and they like mark their calendar and their map and they're like, where do I have to go? So I definitely want to dig in with you a little bit about, you know, where you're sourcing, some
Mhm.
of the names of these stores. Did I write down correctly? Mel
Mel
Trotters?
Trotter. Yep. Yeah, you did.
Oh my God, the
Do they
furniture
not?
was
So they must
ridiculous.
not have them by you.
No, I've never heard of it before.
Oh,
And the
okay.
furniture was like next level. So give us
Yeah.
your best. Tell us all the places.
Yeah. Okay. So I honestly love our Goodwills because they are just very organized. But then Mel Trotter specifically, what's great about them is their money goes towards a place downtown Grand Rapids that houses and helps homeless people.
Oh, wow.
So you know your money's going
It's a
towards
good
that, which
cause.
is
Yeah.
yeah, which is awesome. But yeah, they have several Mel Trotters all around. I would recommend any of them. So if you're ever in Michigan, there's a Mel Trotter nearby. Definitely check them out. Their prices are a little bit higher, but again, you know, you can just be picky and know your money's going to a good cause. I really appreciate their furniture section because a lot of stores around here don't have a big furniture section. And so I'm like, where's all the furniture going? I'm not really sure.
Great
So
question.
definitely, yeah. So if you were to come to Grand Rapids and you were like, where do I need to thrift? There's the main road right down through town, which is called 28th Street. And all around there, any store you go to is going to be great. That's my favorite place to go.
Wow. An entire
There's
street. I love it.
yeah, and you'll see a lot in my video. I start at the Goodwill, I go to Mel Trotter, and then there's another, just a smaller thrift store, like a one-off. It's called New to You, but they've been around for forever, longer than I have, I think. So those are my three go-tos if you only had time to go to three thrift stores.
And you're able to like fill your store with, yes, people are bringing things you're buying from people as
Mhm.
well. But do you ever feel like, oh, I really need to go source today? Is that an overwhelming part of the job?
Not so much anymore. It was for a while. Like I said earlier, it's pretty crazy how much people bring into us. We're so
Yeah.
thankful.
Yeah.
I will say the only time I ever feel like I need to go get stuff is usually in size 2 to 3X
Mm.
because we sell that size so fast. And so we're trying to keep it stocked. Um, but yeah, so I'll sometimes go out and look specifically for that.
Do you ever, this is like, I get this complaint, you know, whether either we have it in a certain space, those plus sizes, or we don't. Have you guys had that backlash from anyone? Like, oh, I mean, I have a lot of stores, so I hear the complaints from every crazy
Mhm.
in Colorado, and now New Mexico and Texas. But any thoughts on that? What do you think as a, you know, brick and mortar thrift store owner? Do you segregate those things? Are they in the wild? How do you do the plus size?
Yeah, so from the very get-go when I first got started, it was important to me that I had the exact same amount of every size. So and you'll see that with
Exclusive.
our website drops that we do on Wednesday. There's the same amount of extra small, small, all the way up through 3X. We
Wow.
put, you know, usually the same number of items. And so same within the store. whether you go to the dresses, the shorts, the jeans, anywhere, you're going to find, the same, a similar amount in each size. Sometimes the smalls tend to build up a little bit, but I don't know. It's just always been something we've paid attention to, just like an
Great.
even amount as much as we could.
Yeah,
So
being super inclusive like that, people probably
yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah. So I would say most people are pleasantly surprised that we even carry that size.
Yeah. Do you guys do a color tag system or anything? I love your 250 sale. That was so
Mhm.
super cool. I think you guys promoted it well too from a marketing standpoint. But do you have specific sale days or colors? How do you keep the product fresh?
So we have a $5 rack in the back, and that's, I mean, I guess you could call it your burn pile. I've heard you say that before, or is that what you call
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Or the
Yeah.
death pile, either
Death
one.
pile,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, we're not burning things, no. So it's like if something's been around a while or anything, we'll just mark it down to $5, and I would say our $5 rack is so popular, and it's what keeps people coming back. So
Yeah.
so that's kinda how we keep things moving, I would say, and then twice a year, we do a massive sale where we do crazy markdowns to $2.50, and that's usually when we're transitioning to fall or when we're transitioning to spring. So yeah, we'll do those really big sales, but otherwise it's just constantly marking things down to our $5 rack.
It's really impressive. I think one of the things that makes us a standout in Colorado is the seasonality. So I love to hear that is really important to you. Talk about that a
Mhm.
little bit. I think that is a standout way to be if you're a thrift store.
Yeah, that's something I've learned over the years because I'm someone who's not I'm not very good at thinking ahead, but I've learned the times of the year that makes the most sense to switch seasons because you've got to be ready for the back to school shoppers.
Mhm.
And then come February, we're just done buying sweaters. We want to look to, we want to be dreaming about lake days and we're ready for tank tops. So we've got to be on it as far as switching seasons. Is
Yeah.
that how it works for you guys?
Yep. We save for a season. So every pricer has like a box underneath for Halloween, Christmas, spring, fall, winter wear, even Broncos, breast cancer awareness. There's like a special box underneath every single pricing table
Love
to
that.
save it. But we've got 1 million square feet of warehouse space. So, I
Wow.
mean, I wouldn't even know. So, how do you do that? If someone comes in with that cold weather item, do you save it in the back? How does that
We
storage
do.
program work?
Yeah, we're really thankful to have an amazing storage room underneath our store. So
Oh,
we carry buckets up and down the stairs. So I would say usually when it comes time to switch to fall, like it is right now, we have 80 plus totes ready to go and we
ready to
start hanging them.
unpack.
Yep,
Yeah.
we steam them, we make sure they're all ready to go and then start tagging them. So
You
yeah,
steam every product. That's
we
incredible.
we do, yes. And that's part of us being an upscale thrift store is we purchase our items from people, so we're paying for them as opposed to donation base.
Mhm.
So and we try to look like a boutique. So we have nice fancy hangers, we have nice fancy bags when you check out, and then yeah, we steam things so they're not wrinkly, and that also helps us as we're steaming to make sure that we don't see a stain or a flaw in something too.
It does feel super high end, and you guys do a great job of capturing it for your Instagram. Are you doing all the content for your socials as well?
No, shout out to my cousin. She's doing all of that
Oh,
right now.
wow. That's
Yeah. It
incredible.
used to be me for a long time, but then I handed it off to my cousin who worked with us for a while, and now my other cousin who's working for us now. So, yeah, whoever's in the shop has been doing the most of that. And that's one piece of advice I have as far as a business owner is you've got to offload stuff like because it can be really easy to want to take control, but it's like if you hand it off, there's a good chance that person might even do it better than you, which is the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah. And it makes it fun and different. It's a different perspective maybe than you thought. And then it's a surprise for
Exactly.
you. I get so
Mhm.
excited when my content people show me something new. I'm like, oh, this is so clever.
Yeah.
Do you use TikTok? That is one of my questions I wanted to ask you guys about. Is there any TikTok happening for you guys?
There's not. I don't know if it's in the future. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that's my next question then. Is there like any big goal on on the horizon? What's next? The goal for the store or for the YouTube page, which is blowing up?
Oh, thank you. Well, as far as TikTok, it's funny. I forget it exists because I've learned too, you can't do it all.
No.
And I mean, some people can, but they usually have help. But I've learned can't do it all. I'd rather focus on just a couple things. And so as far as goals, I would love to see our shop continue to grow, specifically with foot traffic. And I mean, I would love more with our online sales, but also our town is slowly getting bigger and busier. And so more foot traffic would just be awesome because I would love to have even more employees working at one time, and we're busy enough to need that. So it's come a long way. We've grown a lot, and the goal is always just to get busier each year. And then as far as YouTube, it's just the same exact thing, just keep growing, but also just keep having so much fun with it because I film once a week in the morning. I'll go out and thrift, and on my way there and on my way home, I'm just giddy because I'm so excited. I'm just having that much fun with
Oh
it.
my gosh, what a life, right?
It's such a blessing. That's all I think about every day that I film. I'm like, this is way too fun. And I think when you're having fun with it, that's what is fun to watch. So I
Mhm.
just hope to keep doing more of that.
Do you get recognized in your thrift stores now, or like people coming up to you going, "Oh, I watched your channel"?
A little bit. Yep.
Yeah.
It definitely happens in my thrift store that I go to for sure. And then it happens a little bit at the shop too. So yeah, there's a lot of people right around this Grand Rapids area that watch, which is fun.
Yeah. Do you have out of towners coming in and going, "I came because of your content"? Talk about that. That's got to
Yes.
feel great.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. It happens probably a couple times a week that we'll get people from the close surrounding states who will come up. Like just at our sale, we had some
Mhm.
girls take the trip from Indiana. And sometimes we get California people who happen to
Awesome.
be in the area visiting and
Oh my gosh, I
um,
love that.
yeah, usually if I'm not there, my cousin or my mom will text me, so and so just came from this state. So that's so fun to hear.
That makes it all worth it. I mean, it
It
really
does.
is. It's fun. And this thrift community, what are you finding online in terms of like your engagement and the kinds of people that you're meeting? Tell us a little bit about that community that's tuning in. I know it's our listeners because that's how we found you.
Oh, that's awesome. When I meet people out in the thrift store, it's really adorable because I'm finding moms and their daughters are watching. So that's
Mm,
really, really
that's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, I just feel like we're all so similar. That's what's fun is even
Mhm.
if we don't have the same style, we all share a love of a good deal. And I think people can find inspiration in seeing something in the thrift store and then seeing it in my home because it looks much different when you get things home and you style it and everything. And so, I never claim to be an expert, but I always hope to be able to provide inspiration for people to, style their home and make it a place they love.
Yeah, and do it on a budget. It doesn't have to be,
Absolutely.
this expensive endeavor. What about the sustainability of it all? How does that factor into the decisions you guys are making for the store or for the channel?
Yeah, that is a piece that's important to me too, because back in 2019, I, on a whim, decided to, in January, I love making goals in January. I decided, you know what? I'm going to go an entire year and I'm only going to buy something if it's secondhand.
I love it.
And it was not as hard as I thought. But I learned so much more than I thought because I really started to learn the quality of items. Something about buying things in a thrift store and feeling it, knowing the quality, it's already been washed and warm and dried, and like this is how it looks, versus going to, a mall and feeling things that are not as good of quality. I just learned that by not going to the mall anymore and not buying on Amazon, not buying anything online. And it completely transformed the way that I shop to this
Wow.
day.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I would highly recommend even trying it for a month.
Yeah. And it does feel good. I love this thread that kind of, is woven in through all of your content. It is about this simple life. Tell
Mhm.
us a little bit more about that. I think that's such a good way to be.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes from the way that I like to organize and have a place for things because a
Mhm.
lot of times you can thrift, you can shop and then get things home and it collects in a pile and it just collects dust. It never finds a home. And I think simple living to me is everything having a place and having intention and going ahead and donating things that don't have that place in your home because it's very refreshing when you do that. So,
I love that.
yeah.
I take these notes so that afterwards I can do a fun teaser, but I love that quote. That was special. And I love
Oh,
this
good.
concept of a simple life, and it doesn't need to, you don't need to overthink it. I'm a big fan of like no dust collectors because I don't like to dust. I don't want to have to dust some things. That's kind of how I do
Absolutely.
that. So I love this concept. So when my husband says, "Oh, do you want to buy that?" I can say, "No, I'm trying to live a simple life." I might have to throw that at him. I love it.
Absolutely.
What would you say now? You mentioned that maybe you've been running into moms with their daughters thrifting.
Mhm.
What do you think's happened in our society that young people have finally decided that thrifting is cool? I mean, you're one of these young people as a young mama, but these teenage girls, what's happened?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I know when I was in high school, it wasn't, I mean, there were a lot of people doing it, but I wouldn't say it was cool or really super well known. Like people didn't talk about it. It was more, everyone was going to the mall and getting,
Oh,
I don't
matching
know.
uniforms. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And which is fine, but it's amazing now to see people come and school shop at an upscale thrift store or at a thrift store with lower prices, and it's so normal. I think before it was people didn't really talk about it, but now everybody's talking about it, and so
Yeah.
it's so normal.
It's totally normalized. Oh, that's a joy. Any fear of running out of product? Does that ever cross your mind? I mean, you've seen it firsthand. Are you worried?
I think that's another thing I learned while thrifting so much is there's access to everything between all of the thrift stores, but also Facebook Marketplace. If you don't have a thrift store next to you, pull up Facebook Marketplace, type in what you're looking for. I think that's a really awesome way to recycle things and
Yeah.
and get what you're looking for.
And maybe
So
for free.
yeah.
Half of it's for free on there anymore. Come pick it up on my front porch.
So true. Yeah. And a big part of thrifting is just being patient too. So if you are looking for something, it's out there. I'm sure you'll find it if you just have a little patience.
Yeah, you'll stumble across it. What about your unicorn item? Do you have that one thing that you're like most proud of that you've thrifted, which has got to be hard? I've watched hundreds of your videos. You find something cool every time. Is there that one thing that you're like, oh, this was my gem?
Yeah, I do because I didn't find it in a thrift store, but it's my unicorn corn item because when we first moved into our house, we didn't have a pantry and there was a big empty wall space and I was like, I need a big furniture piece, but that's really hard to find, especially at a good price. And I went to this market one day, which is a fantastic market put on by
Mm.
a local shop. It's the Found Cottage. I'm sure lots of people know about it's a well-known store. They do the Found Cottage Mercantile Market. People come from all over the
Ooh,
United States to come. It's really awesome. So I went to that one day. This was many, many years ago. And I gave myself a budget. I was like, if I find a big furniture piece for $1,500, I'm going to get it.
wow.
With it being a pantry for our family. And I didn't end up finding one that day. And I got home and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go wander in my grandparents' garage because they will just put random furniture items out there. And I was like, I'm sure I've gotten everything out of there is to get by now. But I was walking around and I look and behind a bunch of fishing poles, a bunch of wood,
Oh,
I uncover the exact pantry that I was imagining in my head, only way better. I wish I knew how tall it is. It's about 3 foot from our ceiling and it's probably 5 foot wide.
my gosh. And it's a family heirloom.
It's absolutely massive. So that's my unicorn corn item because I was about to go pay $1,500 for one. And then I found one for free in my grandparents'
Mm,
barn.
that's meant to be right there. And it
Yes.
sounds like you manifested it. So what
Yes.
else would you like to manifest? Put out there next time you're at Mel Trotter's, which I'm obsessed. Like I have to come see this store.
You should.
What are you looking to find?
Yeah, this is probably unexpected because it's little, but I love brass. If you've watched the channel, you know I love brass, whether it's picture frames or candlesticks. And so I would love to find in the wild a little brass animal. I've
Oh,
decided I want to start collecting those. And I just recently, from a friend, got a little bunny and I have a rocking horse. I wish I had one close by, but I would love to find one in the wild because I just never have. So
okay.
any
Put
little animal.
Colorado on your list. We get so much great brass in Southern
Are you serious?
Colorado.
Okay.
A hundred
That's
percent. Do you
that's
follow
on my
Mid Mod
wish list.
Marion?
What's that?
Do you follow Mid Mod Marion on Instagram?
No.
Highly recommend our girl
Okay.
Mid Mod Marion. She's Marion down in Colorado Springs. She lives next to our Uinta store. She's obsessed with glass, but she also is obsessed with brass.
Ooh.
So
Yep,
watch
we
her
would be
stuff. She
friends.
finds great stuff. Yes.
Fun.
Is there anybody that you follow on social that we should be following? Because now I'm wondering, like, who inspires you? Who's the one that you're following besides DIY wife, which we're totally gonna find?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so one of my really good friends, I wanted to share her. So
Sure.
we have a group chat. It's her sister, me and my sister, and then her mom, and we are sharing our thrift finds all the time
With
with
your
each other.
moms. Oh,
Yes, exactly. So my friend Reagan, she sells on Whatnot, and her
oh
name
yeah.
is Shop Sienna Grace. But if you have checked out that Whatnot before, or if you are interested,
Mhm.
go find her because not only does she find insane things, like I need to go with her. I don't even know where she goes. She goes to the state sales, I think, but her prices are so low and her stuff is so good. So you've got to check her out. She's hilarious. She's the sweetest. So shop Sienna Grace
We'll find
on
her. Oh, I
Whatnot.
love a good shout out. And
Yes.
Whatnot is like becoming the hottest thing. People are
So
really
fun.
finding their voice there. Do you buy a
Yeah.
lot from Whatnot?
I have bought from her. So my little breast bunny came from her, and I
Mhm.
could point out several things around my house that I've got from her.
Oh, I love it.
And I'm sure I could fill my home in very quickly with her stuff. It's so
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm loving this appointment viewing, like your YouTube channel or, signing up for a Whatnot. It's like everyone dumped their cable and the only appointment viewing we have anymore is like thrift shows on YouTube. And
So true.
I'm obsessed. I just think it's so cool. And it gives me like good feelings that this is going to go on forever. And I always say that this podcast we're really dedicated to normalizing secondhand, but it's people like you that are doing it in real life in the heart of Michigan, south or north of Grand Rapids. Which one did you say?
South.
South of Grand Rapids, Michigan. That you're doing it right with My Sister's Closet. So thank you for your service to our industry. You're going to keep us going for many moons to come. Please keep doing it. There's no chance of changing this, right?
No, no, no.
And
It's
it's
here
a
to stay.
and it's a family affair, which makes it
It
even
is.
better. Ugh,
Mhm.
I love it. Thank you for your time today. But as we end every pod, I like to give a
Mhm.
shout out to my personal inspiration, the queen herself. We just got a new Rolling Stones of her, Dolly
Awesome.
Parton. She's so great. Anything you'd like to say to her about our queen?
Yeah, I want to say I'm sure people know, but if you don't, Dolly does what's it called? Imagination Library.
Mhm.
So if you have kids, you can sign up and get a book, and it's so sweet because my girls would be like, "Dolly sent us another book."
Oh, they take it personally. I love
Oh, they
that.
take it personally. It's straight from Dolly. So once a month from when they're born till they're 5, she'll send a book. And so my girls would get so excited. But another exciting thing is my mom loves Dolly. She's always
Oh,
wanted to take our family to Dollywood, and we finally got it on the calendar. In just a couple months, our whole family's going to Dollywood.
oh, I
So
love this.
yeah,
Hooray. You have to report back. I love that. It
yeah.
too is on my bucket list. I'm going August 21st for the first
Oh,
time. I've never
ooh,
been.
yeah.
So excited. It's
Oh, I
going to
can't
change
wait.
my life. I know it. My
It
friends are
will.
going to be like, you need to calm down, but it'll be fun.
You're probably going to want to make it a yearly thing.
Yeah. And your girls, like I heard it's just so great for kiddos too. So she
Yeah.
just does it up right. I
Hmm.
appreciate you playing along with Dolly Parton. It's
Of
always
course.
fun.
Yeah.
Lauren, you're a delight. Thanks for joining us. Tell our listeners once again how they find, follow, and buy from you or stop by and visit you in Michigan.
Yeah, if you are ever in Michigan, which I highly recommend, I highly recommend thrifting in Grand Rapids and then coming 30 minutes south to check out my
Mm.
upscale thrift store. But if you don't make it to Michigan, we ship all over the US. So you can
Oh,
check out my website, which is mscthrift.com. You can follow us on Instagram. You can buy stuff out of our stories there, or check out my YouTube channel if you want to get cozy and thrift with me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do have a personal Instagram. Don't post a whole lot on there, mostly family and chill stuff, but that's Lauren Mans.
awesome. So easy. Thanks for joining us, Lauren. We appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. Appreciate it.
And Thrifties, thanks so much for tuning in once again to the Get Thrifty podcast. Reminder, save our pod and leave us a 5-star review about how funny, creative, and smart we are. And if you'd like to be part of our unique thrift culture, we'd love to have you on the pod. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Podcast with Maggie. And please follow ARC on Instagram and YouTube at ARC Thrift, and now on TikTok at ARC Thrift Stores. Thanks so much and have a wonderful week.
Hunt for it, find it, make it your own. It's the Get Thrifty Podcast.